knowing since an early age. Not since 97, I ain't miss a game. Came up with TD and Rod Smith. I was riding with the team when they got the chip. Before the Chevrolets and the Lobster. I remember Elway's helicopter. I'm telling you, that man was a monster. Way before he had his hands on a roster. He turned the Broncos to a powerhouse. So you know I got a shout out to Johnny Elway. He important, man. He the reason that I'm always rocking on his man. Always gotta rock orange, that's just how I go.
What's up, Broncos country? How we doing today? It is game day, Denver versus Tennessee, and I'm going to turn my mic down because that's probably a little too loud. Apologize for the delays this morning. Had some technical difficulties, but we are here and we are ready to talk Titans versus the Broncos. So start posting some comments, questions if you're in here right now. My chat main seems not to be working on one side, but I got some over here. So keep them coming, guys, and we will try and get this chat up. But we do have Ramon in here. Teresa, let's go Broncos. It is game day. We are all excited. John, can't wait. Nicole, thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Gina, is the show going on now? Yep, we are here ready to talk. Fate, Bobo, is the game late? Is a late game or early? It is a 2:30, 2:25 kickoff Mountain Time. So, my chat's working now. So it is 2:25 kickoff Mountain Time. We are going to try to kick some butt. Travis, how you doing? Andrew says, hey, KevDan, at the game today, shopping in the team store as I type. I know you didn't get your stickers yet or anything, Andrew, but make sure you tell people about Orange Weekly. We are here right now. That'd be fantastic. Enjoy the game out there. Let's see. So, guys, post your comments, questions. Let me know what you're thinking about today's game, some of the things you're looking for, and I'll kind of tell you some of mine. I am by myself today, so if you guys could be my co-hosts of sort and kind of help me out, I'd appreciate it. Keith, how you doing? Let's go Broncos. Let's get that W. Yes, Broncos have only had one win on the season. We are literally, that close away from being 3-2, but we find ourselves 1-4, finally getting that win against the Chargers last week, holding the Chargers to only 35 run yards against Melvin Gordon in their second round, or their second running back as well. 35 running yards against the Chargers had against us. 30 freaking 5. However, coming up today, and we are going to be facing a much heavier run attack in Derrick Henry. He's 6'3", 247 pounds, and this guy is a beast. And so if we want to have a chance of winning, the Denver run defense has absolutely got to show up this week, just like we did against the Chargers last week. So that's one big thing that I'm looking for, because if we let Derrick Henry run all over us, well, we remember what Leonard Fournette did against us 2 weeks ago. So that's what we need to prevent. Kurt, let's go. How you doing? Justin says, need to get another win today. Believe me, we all agree with that. Steve from Lexington, Kentucky. How you doing? Glad you're watching. Are we going to get this win today? Save that for the end. I'm going to, in about 30, 45 minutes, I'm going to give you my actual prediction. Yeah, we'll just save that for later. Sergio, Jen says, good morning from South Georgia. We got people all over the place. You guys are fantastic. Renee, Nicole, ready to play. Sheila Ann, looking for my attending family members. And there you go. Roger, time to get Sanders the ball. Must establish the run game. So that's a good thing right there. Getting Sanders the ball. He was only targeted twice last week. One of them was a penalty, so it didn't count. There needs to be something there. What I understand is teams are double protecting Emmanuel Sanders. If not, they're putting the best cornerback on him, just like we're doing. Chris Harris, we're putting on the best against the best receiver. That is pretty much shutting him down. It's not that he can't find time to get open, but Joe Flacco is trying to get rid of the ball very quickly. And so if he looks up and sees that Emmanuel Sanders has two guys on him, he's not going to throw that ball. He's going to be looking for somebody else who only has man-on-man or might be open. That's why you're seeing Cortland Sutton and even Philip Lindsay getting more of those targets and those receptions. So something to keep in mind as we're watching this. Yes, we want to see Sanders get the ball more, but it's not always possible. We'll see how that covers up, how that looks today. Jared, how you doing? Stand up, Broncos country. Dylan says 27-14 Broncos. I like it. Jerome, signing Andy to an extension was huge. He helps our run game so much. And I don't have the actual stats in front of me right now. But yes, with Andy Janovich in the game, our run game improves drastically. So having him for the next 3 years, and fullbacks are making a comeback. You know, for a while there, fullbacks were pretty much nowhere in the NFL. And then we kind of saw a resurgence of them. You know, they're great run blocking. They can be utilized in very different ways. I mean, these guys are just beasts of men, and Andy Janovich is not no different. Guys, my name is KevDan. You're watching Broncos Brunch. Grab that coffee, whatever you guys want. Maybe some bacon, eggs, some donuts, whatever you guys want. Kick back, relax, keep posting some comments, questions. I want to know what stuff you are looking for today. If you don't mind hitting that share button for me, spreading the word of Orange Weekly out to some other Broncos fans, I'd really appreciate it. And we got some other stuff coming up for you here soon. Dylan, good morning from Roswell. Sorry, that's Dan from Roswell. How you doing today, man? Let's see, we got some more over here. Bobo, thanks guys. It's going to be an evenly matched game. I do think it's going to be evenly matched as long as our defense shows up. The Titans defense is not, they're nothing to write home about. Okay, they're average. Our offense should have no problem moving the ball. I'm sorry, no, the Tennessee offense is not, there we go. Tennessee offense isn't anything special except for Derrick Henry. So our defense has to show up. The Titans defense is going to give our offense trouble today. So we are going to have a low scoring game. If you ask me, it's going to be evenly matched, but it's going to be very defensive heavy. You guys might feel like it's boring, but honestly, you know, games like this where two defenses are just going out and punt. I mean, those games are old school football, guys. So look, if Derrick Henry starts going all over the place, that's not, I mean, if he does that at any point, we're going to be in trouble. Phillip Lindsay against the Titans run defense, he's probably going to struggle today. I do think he's maybe going to get in the maybe only 80s in his run yards, but then he's going to get probably another 40 in receiving yards today. So he will get above 100 total. There is a stat out there that says Broncos do not do very well at all when Phillip Lindsay has less than 100 yards rushing. They're going to have to find a way to make that happen today. The rushing game for us, I mean, maybe getting 3 yards a carry, which isn't bad. That's actually considered a good run, but you know, 3-3-3, you know, you're basically 3-3-4, that's a first down. 3-3-4, that's a first down. So it's going to be interesting to see how Phillip Lindsay reacts today against the really tough Titans defense. Justin got the same hat this season. Boom, draft hat. Besides stopping the run, we need to get more touchdowns in the red zone. Agreed. I don't think we're going to be able to get in the red zone that often today. And it's nothing against us. It's just the Titans defense is pretty strong. So we're going to rely on McManus. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the Tennessee Titans fired their kicker a week ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Santos missed 4 field goals. I think it was all 4 were field goals. And so he got fired. So there's not a lot of trust in the new kicker either right now. So what you could be seeing is Titans going for it. You know, let's say they're on the 40-yard line and it's 4th and 2. They might go for it versus just going for the field goal because they don't have that deep trust in their kicker like we have in McManus. So don't be surprised if you see the Titans going for it on a lot of 4th and shorts on our side of the field. Could be wrong, but that's just what I'm looking at. Randy, how you doing today? Nicole, thanks. Appreciate it. I love this hat too. You guys can get on the Broncos store or whatever. It's this year's draft hat. It's fantastic. Alicia, how you doing? I'm all ready for Lindsay to get the ball. He is going to get the ball a lot. I'm hoping that he breaks through a little bit. I'm just not expecting that to happen. Judy, we got this. Kevin, Erie, Pennsylvania. How you doing? I'm sure it's great being up there in Steelers country all the time. Bobo, Albuquerque, New Mexico. How you doing? Gaddafi, Kingston, Pennsylvania. We have a lot of fantastic fans here, guys. Post some comments, post some questions. My name's KevDan. You're watching Broncos Brunch. Grab that. Usually I say beer for our Tuesday night show. If you don't know about our Tuesday night show, Beer Broncos No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time every Tuesday night, where we usually say grab that beer or bourbon or booze. Today, let's grab some coffee. Maybe put some Baileys in it if you want. Broncos and Baileys brunch. Who knows? Maybe whatever you guys want to do. Remember, guys, our pre-game podcast has been posted on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. So if you guys want, after this show, please go listen to our podcast. Matt and David do a fantastic job of breaking down this upcoming game, Broncos versus Titans. So please check those out and check out every podcast we have from there on out. We also have a post-game podcast, gets posted early in the week. And then if you guys are betting guy, if you're into betting, sports betting, or even you just want to know what the lines are so you know what Vegas is thinking of today's game, watch out Ragers, our newer show here on Orange Weekly. Ray breaks down all the betting lines of the day that he's either taking or not taking, and for certain reasons. It's about a 5-10 minute show. He has made a ton of money this season. He absolutely knows what he's talking about. In fact, I think on this week's video, he says what his record is. So if you guys want to make some money, just go watch Ray's show and put some bets on there if you guys want. His record is much better than the Broncos right now. He is doing very well, and a lot of us here at Orange Weekly have maybe been sending him some money to also place bets for us. So I'm not complaining. I might get a new hat soon with some of the money that I've won. We'll just see about that. Mary, how you doing today? We definitely need this win. Randy is in New Orleans. He's in Nolens, if I'm saying that right. I'm down here in Pensacola, so I've learned how to say Nolens correctly. Keith, do the Broncos use the same lineup on defense as last week? Yes. Parcell did a fantastic job against stopping the run. The changes we made last week will 100%. I do not know if Gotsis is going to be another healthy scratch. We're going to have to look. That inactives list comes out about an hour before the game. So we'll see if they find a way to work him back into the fold. But I fully expect, with as good as that run defense and that lineup change we put in last week worked, that is exactly what they're going to do this week. The one thing to consider is that our secondary is very beat up. With Bosby going out, and he's been placed on IR after that really scary helmet-to-helmet accidental, to him, and I can't remember what other Bronco collided there. But Bosby is out for the season. He's okay. He apparently could not move for 30 minutes, and because it was a neck injury. After about 30 minutes, he was able to move, walk about. He did fly home with the team. So from us here at Orange Weekly to Bosby, if you're watching today, we hope you all the best, speedy recovery, and we'll see you next year. But in the meantime, our secondary is beat up. Let's see, who was it? Dawson has a foot injury and is questionable today. If Dawson can't play, you guys know who comes up in place of Dawson. It's going to be Yadam. And I have started calling him Hold'em because of the two egregious holding penalties he got last week. So I am saying right now, if Hold'em Yadam has to go out there in place of Dawson because of Dawson's foot injury, our secondary is probably going to be the bigger issue than our run defense. Now, Mariota is an average quarterback at best. He tends to hold on to the ball too long, and I can't remember what the stat is. David talks about it on the pregame podcast, that Mariota creates most of the sacks that he is against him. He holds on the ball too long. He is not willing to take those chances down the field. And so you're probably going to see the Broncos pass rush really get to Mariota several times today. I would not be surprised if we have another 3-4 sacks today. Malik Reed on the other side of Von Miller's been doing great since we've been beaten up on that side as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they do, but I fully expect Von Miller and Malik Reed to just be licking their chops right now, going, we are going to get this guy Mariota several times today with several more QB hits. So watch out for that. I think that's going to be the one thing that saves our secondary. But with our secondary being beat up, Mariota might be coming out willing to try, to make a couple extra plays happen that he normally wouldn't. So we're going to see. It's really going to be interesting. But I really believe both the Broncos and the Titans are going to really be leaning heavily on our run games with our guys of Royce Freeman, Phillip Lindsay, and then the Tennessee Titans with I just said his name and now I forgot it. This is what happens when I'm by myself, guys. I completely blank on several different things. Derrick Henry. Thank you. Derrick Henry. Okay, Randy Nollins. There we go. Tom, happy game day from the UK. Holy crap, we have a ton of fans over in the UK. We have fans in Canada. We have fans in Mexico. We even have followers on Orange Weekly from Japan. Orange Weekly is international, guys. Please keep sharing these videos, watching for our content. We have a ton of stuff for you guys. Man, if you love the Broncos, we are here Tuesday night. Our post-game podcast comes out Monday, Tuesday. We have a live show Tuesday night. Our pre-game podcast comes out Thursday. We got this show right here, Broncos Brunch. We got Ragers, who his show comes out Saturday night, Sunday morning, about the betting lines of the day that he's taking. And again, he makes a ton of money. So guys, go check out his show on the Orange Weekly page as soon as we're done here. We also got our halftime hash. If you don't know about the halftime hash, we all know what you do when halftime starts, guys. We all know what you do because we do the same thing. As soon as halftime starts, we pick up our phones, right? We go get us some snacks, maybe grab another beer, maybe another Jack and Coke, whatever you're drinking that day. But we pick up our phones, right? Well, believe me, as soon as you pick up your phone as halftime starts, Orange Weekly is going to be live, and nobody else does this, guys. Nobody else does a halftime hash show. It's going to be Ray today. He's going to be talking to you about the first half. We want to hear about your thoughts of what you thought the first half, how the first half went. So please, guys, check out the halftime hash today. And for every single Broncos game, we are doing that. Casey, Orange Weekly rules. Thanks, man. You guys are fantastic. Jerome, our linebackers need to step up like they did last week. Get Alexander Johnson another game ball. That is what we're expecting. If the defense we had last week does not show up today, this is going to be a painful game. I really feel like that. This defense and this team knows that we could be 3-2 right now. We are that close. We are just a couple mistakes away from being 3-2. We're a couple bad rough calls away from being 3-2. This team knows what they're capable of. We finally have that win. We're going back to Denver. We're facing a tough team against the Titans. We got another tough team next week against the Chiefs. We will talk about that Thursday night game later on this week. But this team knows they have got to get another win. The conversation we're going to have on Tuesday night, it's going to be very dependent on the outcome of today's game. But these guys are they're dying to get another win because they finally made some breakthroughs and has been seeing a ton of progress. Let's see. Colin, Lindsay have a big day today. No. I'm saying no. He's going to have a good day. He's not going to have a big day. I really feel that Phillip Lindsay is going to get less than 100 yards rushing. I'm thinking about 80 because of the Tennessee Titans run defense. It's just not going to happen. But Phillip Lindsay will probably get another 40 receiving yards is my guess. They're putting him out about right around 120 on the day is my guess. Not a big day. That's a good day. And that's what we do need from him to keep moving the ball down the field. Let's see. Sergio, how you doing from California? How you doing today, man? Let me get back to some comments over here. Guys, again, keep posting comments, questions. I'm going to be here for another 15-20 minutes at least answering your guys' questions. Everyone seems fired up. Go Broncos. I love the energy, guys. You are all fantastic. Welcome to Broncos Brunch, guys. My name's KevDan. Grab that coffee and let's talk some Broncos. Let's see. Jay from Fort Myers, Florida. Vaughn has been showing up big. I think he'll get 2 sacks and 1 big strip sack. That's the other thing, guys. Turnovers. Nobody's really talking about turnovers. We have got to find a way to win that turnover battle. We finally got 2 last week. 3? 2. We got 2 last week. We still lost the turnover battle, but we were able to find a way to win because our defense made huge stands, especially when the Chiefs were on that 1-yard line going into halftime, and they just made that fantastic stand with Jackson there helping out. We've got to be able to have that same defense, but we have to win the turnover battle. Have to. Absolutely have to. If we give away 1 or 2 interceptions, we get nothing. I just don't know how we're going to win, guys. I just don't know, even with a solid defense. So we've got to find a way to keep the sacks going and the turnovers going. And I do think we're going to do that today because of our pass rush. Mariota, like I said earlier, loves to hold on to the ball. He does not like to take chances down the field. If that's the same Mariota that walks out here today, our pass rush is going to get to him. Going to knock the ball out, have that chance for some strip sacks, a lot of sacks, making the Tennessee Titans punt. If they get desperate, Mariota starts throwing the ball while he's under pressure. That's what's going to lead to us having chances for interceptions and turnovers. We have to make it happen. I do not see Derrick Henry fumbling the ball at all today because he's Derrick Henry, man. Again, 6'3", 247 pounds. This guy is a beast. So Purcell, Johnson, and Jackson are going to be seeing a lot of play time today. And with how well they did last week, I don't see it being an issue for them stopping him today. Casey, Flacco is going to have over 250 yards passing. Oof. No. Nope. I would say, I'd say 220 passing yards from Flacco. It's my gut feeling. Again, the Titans defense is really strong. There's gonna be a lot of punting today, guys. A lot of puntings. And this game's gonna come down to, I think, not only just turnovers but field position. We're gonna have to find a way to move the ball, pin them back there within the 15-10 yard line several different times, and then stop them from doing the same thing against us. It's gonna be a very big chess match today, guys. It's going to be very big. So it may seem boring on the surface, but if you guys see the defensive battles that are going on and the position battles that are going on and what we're trying to do to just win that field position, it's going to be huge. Alex Milhouse himself. How you doing? He's going to be a future great leader of the Air Force. I'm glad you're here, man. Hope you're doing well today. My roomie from college too. So cool stuff there. We got 90 people in here, guys. 90 viewers. You guys are fantastic. Keep those comments and questions coming. I see they're kind of slowing down a little bit, guys. I'm by myself today, so if you want to be my co-host today, I want to hear some of the specifics. What do you think the Broncos are going to do today? What are you looking for from the Broncos other than just a win? Also, let me know how you think the Broncos have been doing this season in general. We finally have our first win. What do you think of the progression we've been seeing every single week? And what areas do you think we really need to see the Broncos improve on today? My thing, third quarter. We have got to come out after halftime and dominate, at least do somewhat well in the third quarter on both offense and defense. Over the past 5 games, the Broncos are +3 in the fourth quarter. We're -3 in the second quarter, but we are -23 in the third quarter. 23 points have been scored against us in the third quarter. It's been pretty average, pretty fair in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. I can't remember what the first quarter numbers are, but the third quarter has been killing us. Last week we were up 17-0. We made that huge defensive stand at the end of halftime there, right before halftime. We come out, we almost blow it, guys. We almost blow it. The Chargers catch up 17-10. We find a way to let them score a ton of points on us in a very short time span, mostly there in that third quarter. And no, Marcus Mariota's no Philip Crimea Rivers, but that has just been a huge point that we have not been able to really improve on yet. Fourth quarter is coming around, but we have got to find a way to play 4 good quarters today. Keep those comments, questions, guys. Almost 100 viewers in here. You guys are fantastic. Hit that share button for me. Guys, don't forget about our pre-game podcast. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. And if you listen to podcasts at all, or maybe we're the only podcast you listen to, we are right there on all of those platforms. Check us out. And don't forget about the Ragers Show. If you want to make a little money today, odds are Raymond is doing very great on the season. He's making some money. So if you want to make some money, go watch his show, man. He is doing great so far this season. Victor is one of the OGs here at Orange Weekly. He has been here forever. What's up, Victor? I want to hear what your thoughts are on the game today as well. Got some more comments here. Dustin says 3 turnovers, forced fumble on 1 yard, forcing touchback is a turnover plus the other 2. Sorry, yeah, we did get 3 turnovers last week. You are completely correct. I apologize for that. Leela, how you doing? Ray, go Broncos. Leela says defense needs to step up and offense needs to get it together and keep it together. That's exactly what I'm saying. Keep it together. If we go into halftime feeling good and come out in the third quarter looking flat. And so it's weird, guys. I don't know why we haven't been doing much in the third quarter to throw the defense off. Because the defense is coming out, the opposing team's defense is coming out in the third quarter with some halftime adjustments. They've seen what we're doing. They have some ideas. They're going to adjust to that. And the Broncos have not done anything on offense. They know that the other team's coming out with some changes to their game plan and their setup on defense, but we just keep doing the exact same thing. We got to give them a different look. We got to run a different play, something they haven't seen yet. Throw to a different receiver, run a different direction. Maybe it's the same formation, but we do something a little different to throw them off. And that's what I'm looking for Rick Scangarillo today. Scangarillo, I think you guys may not agree with me. He's been doing fantastic this season. He's been improving every single game. Raiders game, terrible. Second game of the season, better. Third game, here we go. Okay, this guy has really come around. He has a high potential of doing very well as a offensive coordinator. And you're just seeing it how the offense has come together more and more and been doing better every week. Some of that's execution, some of that's game planning as well. So first time head coach, first time offensive coordinator, we're seeing this team improve week by week, something we have not seen since Gary Kubiak left. And so the last 2 years, we have not seen any improvement, any consistent improvement. And now here we are finally seeing a Broncos team improve every single week. And that's why I say end of the season, guys, if we keep improving like this, we may not make the playoffs. We may finish 7-9. We may finish 8-8, not make the playoffs. But by the end of the season, I fully expect that we're going to be playing like a playoff caliber team that's going to flow into next year. Guarantee it. Might see some Drew Lock there at the end of the season. I don't know about that. Next couple games before our bye week are really going to determine that. But we're going to see how that works out here soon. Jerome says, I could see it coming down to McManus kicking a 62-yard field goal today. The way the defense are, it's going to be a lot of ground and pound. That's exactly what I think. McManus making a 62-yard field goal. He is perfect within 50 yards. He is not as perfect outside of 50 yards. He did miss, I think it was a 54-yard field goal last week. Just shanked it just a little bit. That was sea level. So, playing in Denver, that ball's going to fly further. What happens when I'm by myself, guys? I get all tongue twisted. The ball's going to go further. His accuracy has got to be on point if that's the case. I hope it comes down to Tennessee trying to make that long field goal and not us. Especially with Tennessee's kicker not being that great. We're going to see, guys. We're going to see. Let's see, guys. Keep comments, questions coming. I'm going to be here for another, let's call it 10 minutes. Here's how I see the game going, and I want to hear what you guys think, what the final score is. Start posting your final scores, predictions, and I'll kind of explain to you what I think is going to happen. I think Jerome is 100% correct. It's going to be a lot of ground and pound, guys. It's going to be very back and forth. Not a high scoring game at all. Every point, every field goal attempt is going to be huge. We've got to play smart though. If we're at 55 yards, 55-yard field goal, it might be better to punt the ball and pin them, even if it goes into the end zone, get them on their 20, rather than risk the field goal and give them field position near midfield. So there might be times where you might be sitting there going, McManus can make that. Yes, but if the game's going to be as defensively strong and heavy as I think it's going to be, we may not be taking as many chances because it could be one of those things where one or two big plays could really just change the outcome of the game immensely. Okay, I think the Broncos got to find a way to take the lead early and hold it like we did last week. It's going to be tough though. It might be 6-0. If we have a 6-0 lead, I'm going to be happy. Okay, because again, it's going to be that positional battle all game long. So watch and see what Mariota's doing. Is he holding on the ball? Is he getting sacked a lot? Is he getting a lot of pressure from Von Miller and Malik Reed? How's our secondary looking? How often is Dawson out there? Because if Dawson's not out there, it's going to be Isaac Hold'em Yadam. Yes, I'm calling him Hold'em now. Garrett Bowles has had 3 straight games, no holding penalties. Excuse me. A couple other players on the offensive line have been getting several offensive holding penalties lately. Leary and Wilkinson have been the 2 getting the holding penalties. So those guys need to clean up their game. Garrett Bowles needs to have his 4th consecutive game with 0 holding penalties. The fact he's had 3, first time in his whole career with the Broncos, he's had 3 games in a row with no holding calls. So that has got to continue today. If our defense steps out like they did in week 5, this game is going to, if we can shut down Derrick Henry, if we can keep Derrick Henry under 100 yards rushing, we have a very solid chance of winning. We did hold Chargers to only 35 rushing yards last week, which is good, but it's kind of an outlier. You're not going to see us shut down Derrick Henry like that today. He's going to get first downs. He's going to get a couple, scrambles and get some yards there. But if we find a way to hold him under 100 yards and force Mariota to throw on 3rd and longs, that's where you're going to see our success. If they keep getting 3rd and shorts, they're just going to keep moving the ball. We've got to find a way to put them in, 3 and 6 plus, 3 and 6, 3 and 10, 3 and 12 after a sack or something. That's where we're going to have our chance to really win this game on the defense side of the ball. Offense, we've got to be smart. Got to move the ball, run the ball, ground and pound, just like Jerome is saying as well. If we come out the third quarter doing the same exact thing, we're going to have a huge chance to win the game if we're playing consistently in all 4 quarters. Guys, keep posting some of your score predictions. I'm going to get to my score prediction here in just a second, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget, Ragers, the newest show here on Orange Weekly. If you want to hear some of the betting lines of the day, you want to have a chance to make some money, Raymond is making some great bets on the season. He is making money, no lie. His record is there on the video. I think it's like 20-4 or something. Either way, he is doing fantastic. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to sports betting and the Broncos lines of the day. So go listen to his show. If you want to put some money down, that's fantastic. You might, odds are, can be walking away with a little bit of cash. Don't hold us to it. We're not experts, but that's just what Ray's been doing so far this year. Don't forget, after this show, guys, go listen to our pregame podcast. Fantastic stuff from Matt and David, giving you a much better in-depth breakdown than I am right now, which I'm not saying I'm not doing well, but those guys do fantastic on the pregame podcast. It's going to really give you a much better in-depth idea of what to look for in the game today. Halftime hash. As soon as halftime starts, guys. As soon as halftime starts, we will be live. So check out Ray on the Halftime Hash Show today as well. Okay, let's keep some things going here. I want to hear more of your score predictions and some of your thoughts. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you my score prediction. You already kind of heard how I think the game's going to go and what we need to do to win. But I got a score prediction coming up for you here soon. Victor, we have to use Lindsey a la McCaffrey, a.k.a. McCaffrey. Run the ball, play action, pass, keep them on their heels. 20-14 Broncos. The play action I love, but we have to establish a run game first. I think some people don't understand the connection between the two. You can't fake the defense if they're not afraid that you're going to run the ball. So we have to get the ball to Lindsey to run often and early, but he also has to be successful. If he's only getting 1-2 yards per run, it's not really going to open anything up for a play action. Maybe a little later, but especially if they're afraid of Lindsey getting 4 or 5 yards per carry. Okay, well now that play action is really going to come into play. Let's see. So yes, I like that, Victor. I agree. We have to keep them on their heels. The score prediction from Victor is 20-14. What we got over here? Roger says 17-14 Broncos with the win. I sure hope so. Chad says 21-17 Broncos, and Jackie says 17-14, and Denver wins. Guys, there's 70 of you in here. You guys are fantastic. Hit that share button for me. Also, don't forget about our Patreon. Every month, we're giving away a prize to one of our Patreon donors. Patreon.com/Orange Weekly. Just go to patreon.com, search for Orange Weekly. You'll find us there as well. Even if you donate $1 for 1 month, guys, you have no idea how much that means to us. We're not putting it in our pockets. We're turning it around to get better equipment, better microphones, lighting systems, cameras, all that stuff, computers, whatever we need to upgrade to give you guys better shows and better content. So if you go to patreon.com/Orange Weekly, donate, not only are you going to be entered into that month's prize, you're also going to get entries into the season-ending prize as well. Right now, we're thinking about a jersey. Depending on how many we have at the end of the season, we could be giving away more than one prize. So like I said, even $1 for 1 month, you're going to get entered to that month's prize and the season-ending prize. Also, if the Broncos win, for every win that the Broncos get during the month that you donate, you get 5 additional free entries to the end of the season. So, for the end of the season prize. So, guys, we're trying to give stuff away to you guys. We're trying to give it away. Go to our patreon.com. We just gave away a Broncos jacket, one of these Mr. B pens, and some Orange Weekly stickers with that as well. So, patreon.com. Any support you guys give us would be fantastic. You guys are already fantastic, but if you want to help us bring you better content, that's another way to do it as well. Let's see. Abdi, we'll see. Shane says 2017. Shane asked, are we wearing blue or orange today? I believe it's going to be orange. For today's jersey. I don't think we're doing the alternate blue. Shane says Broncos 20-17. I like it. Jerome says 13-10 Denver. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I'll give you my score prediction again here in just a minute. Abdi says, I was right last week. Those 9 carries didn't work. When we get 17 plus carries, Broncos and my fantasy team thrive. Completely agree. We've got to get Philip Lindsay the ball. He has to get those yardage for the game. We can't give it to him 9 times. And maybe it's not Philip Lindsay. Maybe Royce Freeman comes out today and he has the high hand. That's fine. Figure out which one is doing well early and then get them the ball more often is what has to happen today. Tyler says it's blue today. I was wrong. It happens sometimes, guys. We're in the blue jerseys right here. Boom, like this. Blue jerseys today. So thanks for that, guys. George says, are we going to stream the game? No. We do not do that here on Orange Weekly. It's technically against, the NFL doesn't like it when people do that, especially with us here at Orange Weekly with a big following. The last thing we want is NFL to come down and pretty much say, stop everything you're doing. And now Orange Weekly has to go away because we get suspended or banned or something like that for violating the NFL rules and regulations. So, guys, I'm not going to do that. Plenty of other people that do stream. Sometimes the games, if you have the NFL fantasy app or the Yahoo fantasy app, they do stream some of the games there, but also if you're in the Denver market, you can go to the Broncos 365 app. They will be showing the game on your phone as well. So plenty of options there, guys. Unfortunately, we do not stream the games ourselves. We will be here for the halftime hash to talk to you about the first half of the game, but no, sorry guys, we do not do that here at Orange Weekly. Let's see. Daniel, got to stop the run and keep Mariota in the pocket. Boom. That's a huge one right there. Joey, how you doing? Joey is another one of our big-time supporters here at Orange Weekly. He's fantastic. Joey, the show is about to end before too long, so if you want to give me your score prediction, I'll wait for that before I give you mine as well. We got more over here. Let's see. Gilbert, I think Denver 20, Tennessee 17. What I'm seeing from a lot of these score predictions, guys, is everyone pretty much agrees it's going to be a very close game. And so this is what I'm talking about, where the Broncos offense and defense, the whole team, has to come out and play very well today. This is going to be a very important game for Wadman, our punter. He has got to find a way to do a very good job on his punts. Pin the Titans within the 10, 15-yard line several times today. If he has 1 or 2 bad punts and they get great field position, that's where we're going to be looking to our defense to make some big stands. But I don't want to find ourselves in that position. Jerome says, honoring Champ today, so I'm wearing his blue jersey. Champ is being honored today. He did unveil his Ring of Fame statue yesterday. So yeah, Champ Bailey he's in the Hall of Fame, all that stuff. It's fantastic, guys. So Champ Bailey is being honored today, and we're glad to see that there. So if you're you're at the game today, man, it's going to be a very special game today. Joey, 24-13 Broncos with a pick 6. God, I would love not only see another interception, but a pick 6. Probably from Chris Harris is my bet. If that's going to happen, Chris Harris. Daniel says 24-17 Denver wins, and Joey says 24 points in honor of Champ. Boom. I love it. We got to get that 24 in honor of Champ. That'd be fantastic, man. Let's see. A couple more here. One more. Shane says, we need to make some strong run plays and stretch the field. Flacco does his best work when he can bomb it down the middle of the field. Broncos 21-17 win. Marquette, if our O-line plays good today and our run defense plays well, we should win. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Those are some very huge aspects of the game. Okay, guys, I promise you my score prediction. Some of the keys to the game for me. Run the ball often, and run the ball well. Whoever is the high hand today, whether it's Royce Freeman or Philip Lindsay, whoever's doing better, we got to get them the ball often. Okay, this 50-50 split is nice sometimes, in certain situations, but today that's not going to be the case. If Philip Lindsay has a hot hand and he's getting 3, 4, 5 yards per carry, give him the ball. If Royce Freeman's doing the same thing, get him the ball. So we got to find a way to get that run game going. Alternatively, defense. Defense has got to come out exactly like they did last week. We're not going to hold Derrick Henry to 35 rushing yards. That's not going to happen. If we can keep him under 100, we're going to have a very good chance to win. So finding a way to hold Derrick Henry from less than 100 rushing yards is going to be key. Turnovers is my third key to the game. Find a way to not only get to Mariota in the pocket, put him under pressure. Get to Mariota is my third key of the game. Not just necessarily turnovers, because remember, Mariota does not like taking chances where he feels like he's under pressure. He likes to hold onto the ball, and if anything, he creates a lot of his own sacks because he's not willing to even get rid of it to throw it to the sideline. So getting pressure on Mariota, it's going to lead to a lot of sacks and just quarterback hits in general. That's going to lead to the opportunity for interceptions. We may not see as many opportunities for interceptions if Von Miller is having a heyday and Malik Reed is back there having a heyday. Just getting quarterback hits and sacks. So getting to Mariota, keeping in the pocket, and getting to him is going to be my third key to the game. Joey says Lindsay is going to be the one with the hot hand. I think so. He tends to be that guy. So that's what I'm looking for today as well. Shane agrees with me. I'm glad you agree, man. Okay. End of the game, or end of the show. Let me give you my score prediction before I do. Couple things, guys. Patreon.com/OrangeWeekly. Please help us out. Go donate there. You'll have a chance to win not only a monthly prize, but an end of the season prize as well. For every time the Broncos win in the month that you donate, you get 5 additional entries for the end of the season prize. Pre-game podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. After this show, please go listen to it, guys. They do a great job on the Orange Weekly pregame podcast, breaking down the game as well. So if you want to get hyped up even more, there you go. Halftime Hash and Ray's Ragers. If you want to make some money and you want to hear what Ray is thinking about the betting lines of the day for the Broncos game, he's been making some money himself this season, so he knows what he's talking about. But then Halftime Hash with Ray as well today. As soon as halftime goes live, or halftime starts, Orange Weekly will be live, ready to talk the first half with you guys. So please, guys, check out those shows. And with that being said, it's time for my score prediction. Broncos and Titans are going to be in a very close matched game. It's going to be very defensive heavy. Please don't sit there and say it's boring. It's going to be a old school type of game. Lots of running, being very safe with the football, and really fighting for that positional field battle, if you will. You may see Tennessee go on 4th and 2 maybe a little bit more often versus go for longer field goals because they don't really trust their new kicker yet. There's a lack of trust there. So if they're trying to go for 55-yard field goal and it's 4th and 2, they might run the ball instead, especially with Derrick Henry, to get that first down. It's something that our defense is going to have to really watch. Block, guys. My score prediction: Broncos 17, Titans 13. Gonna need a couple touchdowns. Gonna need several field goals. It's gonna be close. Broncos are going to walk away with the win today, giving us a second win in a row before we talk about the Chiefs coming to town next week. So lots of good stuff, guys. I will see you back here. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for watching. We had almost 100 viewers at one point today. You're all fantastic. Marquette, we should make a trade for offensive lineman Trent Williams. Nope, probably not going to happen, but we will talk about that if you want to come back. Tuesday night, guys, Beer Broncos No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I will be right here on Beer Broncos No BS, waiting for you guys to come back with some more comments, questions, and reactions to today's game. That being said, guys, you guys have been great co-hosts. Makes my job a little easier when I'm here by myself. Seriously, thanks for everyone, all of your support, hitting that share button for me. We got more content. Orange Weekly is here for you guys. So check out all of our content. Go enjoy the game. Get ready for it, guys. It's going to be a good one, especially with the Champ Bailey being honored, being in Denver today. We got a lot of good things going our way right now. We just got to take advantage of them. Leonard, go Broncos. I'm going to end the show with the same thing. Go Broncos. Get that win. Honor not only Pat Bowlen, but also Champ Bailey. So here we go, guys. Game time. Coming up at 2:30 Mountain Time. 2:25 kickoff Mountain Time is when the game starts. See you guys later. Go Broncos.